What's up, guys? Welcome back to 62 Beer Reviews. Today we are checking out the one and only Bud Light from Anheuser-Busch out of St. Louis, Missouri. Not much else to say. Speaks for itself, right? Real quickly, I do want to give a shout out to you guys, viewers. We recently hit a big milestone on the channel. We hit 1,000 views on one of our reviews, which happened to be Coors Light from Coors out of Golden, Colorado. And I figured, you know what, to celebrate, let's review another popular domestic American lager. Also, stick around after this review. We're going to dive in. I recently visited the brewery up in St. Louis, did a little tour, got some shots, some videos. So I want to talk about that. And this specific beer that we are reviewing came directly from the brewery. And it is roughly about 2-3 weeks old. So about as fresh as it gets. So yeah, we'll dive in real quick. Bud Light, always brewed with 4 simple ingredients for a clean, crisp taste, it says. Best by date of January 28th, 2027. So they give these roughly 8 months. Is that right? 8 months in the bottle. For anyone who drinks Bud Light and is curious about that, I guess they give it 8 months in the bottle. All right. Let's see. ABV wise, okay, here we go. 4.2% ABV, 110 calories. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Label art, it's Bud Light. It stands out, just the blue and white stands out on the shelf. I dig it. I love the Anheuser-Busch etched into the glass here. Don't know how much that's going to come through. Hopefully it will. But yeah, let's dive on in. Review the beer. Is this twist up? It is. How about that? Bottle cap. We got proper merch that we brought back. Let's get this baby in the glass. Bud Light is a special beer to me. It is the first beer that I ever had. May or may not have been before or after I was 21. Room temperature Bud Light was the first beer that I ever had. So pretty fun. This beer's always just had a special place in my heart. It's not something that I drink too often. And in fact, I don't know the last time I had it. I specifically didn't want to have this beer at the brewery just because I knew I was getting this bottle, knew I wanted to review it. So we drank other Anheuser-Busch products while we were there. That beer looks gorgeous. As expected, head's going to die away quickly, as do most American lagers. But what is there is a good finger of bone white colored head. Beautiful carbonation in the glass, and that beer is crystal clear. Gosh, oh my God, I don't know that I've seen a more clear beer. That's insane. Got this really bright, vibrant straw yellow color to it. Yeah, looks like an American lager. Looks the part. So let's dive on in, check out the aroma. It just smells so clean, so crisp, so refreshing. It smells like beer. It's a beer smelling beer. I mean, it's got this bready, light white bread character going on. You get those subtle, which I do want to point out, found out on the tour. They use 2-row and 6-row malted barley, and then they added rice in here. I always thought that they added corn. Maybe that's just some other domestic lagers, but they didn't say anything about corn. And then hops from their, I tried to get out of them what hops they use. They just a blend of hops from their hop farms. They have a hop farm in Germany and a hop farm in Idaho. So blend of those hops. And you can tell you got this subtle German noble hop character. Very subtle, but for the most part, there's not. I mean, there is a twinge of hop character, but it smells light, a little bit of citrus, and bready. It smells great, honestly. It really does. So let's dive on in. Check it out. Cheers. It's honestly really, really good. And I think that is just part in fact, it coming straight from the brewery. When I got this, it was 3 days old. Um, I mean, it doesn't get any fresher than this. This is delicious. Really nice spritzy carbonation. Honestly, a pretty decent body to it, being a American light lager, and some nice flavor for the style. There's that bready character comes through, a little bit of honey, slight lemon peel, citrus character, that just like little bit of grassy German noble hop. Really, I mean, it's just a crusher, and it's a crusher. It's American light lager. It's one of those just like beers that I want to have at a bar. Just give it to me in a shaker pint glass, and watching some sports, some football. That, I mean, that's what this drink's like to me. No off-putting flavors. Um, just this is really good. This is really really good. And I've always enjoyed Bud Light. I think just growing up in Colorado, um, just having that out there, I just always was like, oh yeah, Coors Light, Coors Banquet, whatever. I drank that more than I did Bud Light, but I might have to do a little side by side Coors Light, Bud Light here soon, and that sounds really really fun. So keep an eye out for that because we are going to do that. I promise y'all. This is delicious. Just everything you want of American Light Lager. And rating wise, I'm going to give it appropriately, as you should. People out there, you guys should rate them based off the style. Don't be comparing this to some double, triple, dry hopped IPA. Rate it based off the style. Compare this to some other light lagers you've had. This is delicious. 4.5 for me. Freaking awesome. Like I said, part of that probably from the freshness. So I will be keeping an eye out. Just like next time I'm at the store, I'm gonna pick up Bud Light, see what the best by date is. Now that I know they give it about 8 months. 8 is it 8 months? No. Okay, let's do some quick math here. 7 months, 7 or 8 months, roughly around there. So, um, yeah, let me know. Drop it down in the comments what you guys think of Bud Light. Do you prefer it over other American light lagers? Be really curious. Let's hear it from Bud Light drinkers out there. I'm with y'all. This is a great beer. So let's dive on in now to the tour portion. First off, I just want to say I think it's so cool being a craft beer drinker. Um, Hopping into some smaller tap rooms, right? What I'm used to, I was blown away by how freaking huge Anheuser-Busch was. Like it felt like its own city while I was there. Crazy. Um, Walk in. I mean, it. Honestly, it's just mind blowing. Walk in. Went to the merch shop while we were waiting for our tour. Fantastic merch shop, by the way. Tons and tons. I mean, whether you're a Busch Light drinker, Michelob Ultra, Bud Light, Budweiser, everything. They have mixed six packs to go. All kinds of glassware, which I almost picked up some proper glassware. I just don't drink the style enough to do that. So yeah, awesome merch. Went on the tour. First thing you start off with, and I should say they have different tour experiences. We decided to do the Day Fresh tour, um, and start out, go out onto the property, and first thing you see is the Clydesdale horses, which was honestly probably my favorite part. They're just iconic, growing up with the Super Bowl commercials, Budweiser, just the Clydesdales are just iconic. And actually getting up close and seeing them, and you do get up close and see them on the Day Fresh tour. There is a specific one for the Clydesdales, but honestly, just do the Day Fresh. You get up and close and learn a lot of history with them, the Dalmatian, how that all works. Got to see the inside of their shoot. What do you call them? stalls, whatever you want to call them. So that part was really, really awesome. And then you go on to the property. I think the first thing we saw after that was the lagering tanks, which is really cool. You learn about the beechwood, they age beechwood while in the lagering tanks. Just loads and loads of a full layer on the bottom of the tanks of beechwood that actually don't impart any flavor on the beer, but actually just help with clarity, which, as you can see, it does a pretty dang good job of that. And yeah, I'm not getting any woodiness or anything on this beer. So that was really cool. Just seeing how big the tanks were. I think it was roughly about 40 degrees in those coolers while we were there. Awesome part of the tour. Shoot, you go on. I mean, we got to see the actual brew kettles, which were that facility was just amazing. I mean, just the artwork and the structure, everything of that whole building, I was just blown away by it. Just really beautiful architecture. And it was cool to actually see beer being made. Like you could see it going, working away in the kettles. You smell that bready, yeasty character going on. That was really cool. And then you go on. I think the next step was the bottling facility, if I'm correct. Honestly, it was hard to keep up with everything. You got this tour guide talking to you. You're trying to take in the whole experience of this huge property. At the same time, I'm trying to get pictures, videos, and everything. Um, so honestly, it's worth doing the tour a couple times, or maybe doing a different tour if you're able to go back. Um, but the bottling facility was like something like 7 stories, just huge. They weren't actually bottling on the day that we were there. That's why we got 3-day fresh Bud Light. But while we were taking the escalators up, you could see Busch Light in cans being packaged, which was really cool to see. So different floors of the bottling can facility. And since they weren't actually bottling that day, they showed us a video of how they bottle everything, how much they bottle it. There's something like a couple of thousand bottles per minute that they make. I mean, Anheuser-Busch in general, I think they said like 14 billion gallons a year is what they make, and just one of the biggest beer brands in the world right now. So I was just blown away by how large that facility was. Yeah, it was really cool to see the bottling facility, how they bottle everything, how the I'm forgetting it right now. The basically, oh my gosh, what is that word? I always do this to myself. Um, Basically, what takes away that yeast, pasteurized, how they pasteurize everything, which I had no idea how that actually worked. They took over Goose Island, Bourbon County, all those beers are pasteurized now, which just makes them a little more shelf stable. The beers they actually gave us were room temperature when they gave it to us. I kept it cold the whole way home. But yeah, that was just really cool tour. If you haven't done it, definitely recommend doing it. Even if you don't drink Bud Light or American lager in general, domestic lager, highly, highly recommend doing it. Like I said, just because being someone who loves craft beer, it's just so cool to see it on a different scale. Just this huge, ginormous scale that they do it there in St. Louis. I know there's a few other facilities that they have, I think in Texas um, and elsewhere. They're all over the place. But yeah, St. Louis is up and running. You're still brewing beer there. It was fun to we got to go to a concert at Busch Stadium the same day. So it's just like everything kind of tied together, which was really cool. Got some Anheuser-Busch beer while we were there, all over the place. If you're looking for Coors Light at Busch Stadium, you ain't gonna find it. It was really cool. Just see Bud Light, Busch Light. Also, another thing I want to mention: they give you a bottle. When you finish the tour, they take you back to the beer garden, and you get your choice of one whole pint on draft there. And I chose a Busch Light, which was honestly delicious. I need to review that beer sometime soon. Had a pour of Budweiser, Bud Heavy while I was there, which I loved as well. So a lot of these beers I need to review soon because I honestly had a great time. Beers were great, and just an awesome experience. So, if you guys have done the experience or any other tours like that, let me know down in the comments what you thought. If you did any of the other ones, I know there was another one that really stood out to me where you actually got to go down to the bottom of the tanks and drink a fresh pint straight from the tanks, which sounded really cool too. So if you've done that one, let me know. Thanks again to all you guys that watch. Again, 1,000 views on one of my reviews is just awesome. And having a good time doing this. We're going to keep it going. So that's all I got, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers.